Hi folks, I'm really excited to share our presentation and our project with you, Understanding and Addressing Food Insecurity Among Students at Rutgers University, New Brunswick. So just to give you a little bit of a background about this ongoing work and this project, we are really looking to understand student food insecurity deeply. So our work spans a number of different methodologies, a number of different years, and a number of different projects. So really our main goals and aims of this work is first to understand and determine the prevalence of food insecurity among students at Rutgers University, New Brunswick, but also to understand the experiences of those students. Finally, the third phase or wave of this project is for us to take what we're finding in that research and in that data to develop and implement some lasting sustainable solutions to really address food insecurity on our campus. So we know that Rutgers University is not unique. Students experience food insecurity at every single college and university across the country, and it is a prominent problem that is becoming even more challenging as time passes. As we've learned more about food insecurity at the national level, something that we've learned is that students who have been historically or traditionally marginalized in higher education are also disproportionately more likely to experience basic needs insecurity, including food insecurity. So students of color, Pell recipients, first generation college students, LGBTQ youth, parenting students, students who have been involved in the justice system, former foster youth, they all have an increased likelihood of experiencing food insecurity, which is increasingly problematic because that is just perpetuating these already existing inequities in higher education. So some of the work that we've been doing over the past about 7 years now has really been spanning a number of different projects so that we can understand this issue as deeply as possible. So we to date have administered 2 cross-sectional online census surveys to all matriculated Rutgers University undergraduate and graduate students, the first in the fall of 2016 and the second in the fall of 2019. Both of those samples ended up being representative, which really gave us a nice, strong understanding of student food insecurity. In the 2016 survey, we used the USDA measure of food insecurity, the 10-item questionnaire, and in 2019, we used the 18-item. So we found that in 2016, 36.9% of our undergraduate students and 32.1% of our grad students were food insecure. And then in 2019, we found similar numbers where we saw 31.5% of our undergrads were food insecure and 29.9% of our graduate students were food insecure. We also did some work interviewing students. We wanted to understand the lived experience. What was it like? How are they coping with food insecurity? How are they using campus resources? Really to get a feel for overall, what does the experience of food insecurity do to the academic and lived experience of our students? Some of the things that we found that were particularly interesting were around resource use. So we found that students were possibly not using our campus food resources because of feelings of stigma, shame, embarrassment, feeling that other students could benefit from those resources and they didn't want to take that away from someone else. And overall, it was really challenging for our students to ask for assistance. They really viewed food insecurity as a personal and private problem that they had to address on their own. And a lot of them engaged in behaviors that reflected that as well. So that was some of our work that we saw qualitatively. But something else that we've been working on over the past couple of years has been to really develop and design some projects that could help to support our student population. So we have a lot of efforts that we are undertaking along with some of our partners in other units within Rutgers University to really support our students. We have opportunities for SNAP enrollment on campus, ongoing research. We have a campus food pantry. We have a mobile food pantry. We have collaborations and connections with our local farms and our student farms to make sure our students are getting that fresh produce. But one new project that we're working on is a screen and intervene program. So we are actually screening students for food insecurity through our university health centers. So anytime a student comes into the health center, their clinician and practitioner will screen them to determine whether or not they're experiencing food insecurity. If that student is experiencing food insecurity, they are referred to campus food resources. So they're referred to our Dean of Students office for additional financial support, or they're referred to our campus food pantry for food support. We are still in the process of evaluating that program and learning more about its effects and its impacts. But overall, something that we really found is that we know that student food insecurity is prevalent at Rutgers University, New Brunswick, which isn't surprising. But we really feel that in order to address this issue in a sustainable way, there needs to be a community-wide approach. So we need to have ongoing research. We need to develop these interventions. We need to assess interventions for students. We need to train our faculty, our staff, and our current students about how to support students who are experiencing this challenge. And some of these efforts are already happening, they're being undertaken, but they do require that full and total engagement from our entire campus community to really strongly address this issue. Thank you so much.